Hey everyone, my name is Bridget and today we're going to be talking about the Spring Equinox. And I'm going to be giving you 3 ceremonial ideas to harness the power of March 20th and the full moon and this whole gateway timing. This timing of rebirth and this renewal and coming of light has been in process for quite a bit of time now, and these few days before and few days after the actual equinox gateway is a wonderful time to completely set the template and plant seeds for the whole year. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the spring equinox, and then I'm going to get into these really fun and different ceremonial ideas you can try out. So the spring equinox is such a powerful time of renewal, of rebirth, of fertility, abundance, all of these kinds of energies. It is the time of year between winter and summer solstice where we have equal light and dark. And there's this brewing of new energy, right? New light. And in the Pagan Druidic traditions, Ostara, the goddess of fertility and of new life, was the energy that was guiding this time, which is often actually where Easter came from. We are connected to this earth. We're connected to the cycles of the wheel of time and how Earth's seasonal movements correspond. And so it's such a powerful time to download and to bring in more light and to plant those seeds so that they can grow and harvest in the fall. So I'm in love with it. Now let's get into some of the ceremonial techniques that you can use during this time. Now ideally it's March 20th, but you can use it anytime around this span and even anytime this spring, because this is a time where the waxing energy is growing and it'll culminate at the summer solstice. So this is a time that can really expand your whole energy field, just like, right, the waxing of the moon moving towards full moon. It's a powerful time to expand whatever you're wanting to create, and the same goes for this time span in the year. So we've got like the full moon and like the equinox at the same time and this expansion of light. So it's a really powerful time and I'm really excited. So the first ceremony is actually to utilize this light energy. For all 3 of these ceremonies, one of the keys behind it is to really evaluate and intentionalize what you want for the year. This is really, to me, the time where you start making these kinds of intentional decisions, whereas like the new year, like January 1st, things aren't even barely moving yet. You know what I mean? Everything's still dormant. The energy isn't there with the momentum. And so now with the spring moving is the time where we can really plant the seeds and see them sprout before they'll like freeze over in January. I think that's why a lot of people can't stick with their New Year's resolutions, because it's just a strange time, to be honest, but right now is a wonderful time to let these things grow. So first and foremost, the questions you can ask yourself are, what do you want to create? What do you want to expand? What do you want to express in yourself? So it can be on a very physical, practical, kind of like goal setting level. Anything that comes to mind in that, like with your relationships or your job or career, or you creating more in the world, maybe you expressing more, maybe you coming into more of yourself. So whatever that would be, just get very clear on what seeds you want to plant at this really powerful time. So the first ceremony is the sunrise intention ceremony, which is clarifying these intentions and then waking up at dawn, waking up with a new sunrise and being in the light of that energy, of this gateway. I mean, literally sites around the world are aligned with this timing because it is so potent. Like the ancients and really powerful advanced civilizations utilize these timings. They created these amazing sacred locations with like monoliths that were super challenging and super specific and super precise, just to capture this moment of light, this moment of access, this portal entry into this timing. And so it's really beautiful and powerful. And so as the sun rises, utilize that light and energy coming into you to expand, to fertilize really your intentions to really come forth into full light and into full manifestation. So that is the first ceremony. The second ceremony is the egg of fertility. That's what I'm calling it. So many of you, we all know these traditions of, the Christian like eggs at Easter, and we don't know what most of them mean, but the egg of fertility is like such a special, wonderful thing to work with. I mean, this shape is one of the strongest shapes in a certain sense, and then it's also one of the most delicate. And so it's this merging of the masculine and feminine that then gives rise to new life, which is manifested in the form of an egg. And so this can symbolize that energy for you. And so one of the ways that you can utilize this energy, and I just had a dream about snatching a bird egg this morning, which was really sweet, even though I would never do that. So there's this connection, right, with this egg and this new rebirth. And this has been utilized in many different traditions around the fertility and the abundance, but also in clearing, which we'll get into in ceremony 3, which is most closely associated with the more mystical traditions of Mexico, where they actually clear the energetic body with an egg, because this shape and this form and the living essence of the egg can do so much. So it's very powerful to work with. And so what I recommend for this exercise is getting a crystal egg, and each crystal is going to have their own energy. So whatever your intention is around this, you know, say you're wanting to open to like the higher dimensions and more of your spiritual self, then maybe say like an amethyst. Or if you're wanting to ground, maybe something that's more dense and dark, you know, so certain things like that, just utilizing whatever crystal you want to bring in that energy. So then what you're going to do, utilizing this shape of life in the form of a crystal, or you could use a real egg, which would be actually potent as well. But the thing is I'm vegan, so I'm like, let's go with the crystal egg. And part of this, which is really cool too, is that it can hold the energy of this timing, of this seeding of intent. So it can be your energetic anchor seed for the rest of the year to continue to emanate and radiate that in which you planted, so that you can have that template supporting you at all times. So I really like this idea. So then what you're going to do is you're going to clear and cleanse it. You can do that in whatever form you want. You can soak it in salt water, but really make sure to clear it before you do any instructing. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to instruct it instead of programming it. We're connecting with this conscious being, and so we're going to connect with the beloved energy of this crystal egg, and then we're going to instruct it to hold and contain within its structure whatever our very clear, very kind intention is that we want to grow, that we want to fertilize, that we want to expand into ultimate abundance and expression. Then thanking, of course, the crystal for doing that, and then utilizing this whenever you're checking in throughout the year, you're starting that new project, or you're moving towards that goal in which you planted, working with that crystal and reminding yourself of that pure intention and letting that help guide you and support you through this process. Of course, women, you can utilize this with the yoni egg, which can be even more potent because it's in your body, it's in that place of where you fertilize and create life. So that can be even more powerful for women out there. And of course, men, you can just hold it with your intention and joy and love. So then the third one is actually cleansing. So we think about like spring cleaning, and then in the different Chinese traditions, this is the time of the liver. This is the time to clear out the stagnancy, the crap, you know, of winter, whether that's energetic or physical. And so doing a ceremony around that so that you can clear the space to allow more light, to allow more energy in, which can be just as potent as actually magnetizing more expression or expansion of your intention. Clearing away so that there's room is just as potent and actually very, very necessary. And so in this space, you could do several different things. You could look up the actual egg clearing method, which is pretty potent, and that would be like a nice synergy of the idea of the fertility and the egg energy with the clearing energy. So you can look up on YouTube, there's a few good videos on that, but kind of do your research around it. But it's a very powerful method. And then the real one that I'm getting at is actually to do a mini cleanse or a mini fast of some sort at this time to get your body cleared out of that crap and then move towards like more vitality, right? So what you could do is you could do, even just for one day, you could do a half day. You know, you could do a few days of just doing pure juice in the morning or something like that. And so what I recommend is really getting in the greens, okay? So it's just really some kind of juice cleanse that has to do with like a lot of greens and getting a lot of salad, but particularly cleansing that out with the alkalizing green juices would be a really fantastic way. You can also utilize wonderful liver herbs such as milk thistle, which I love, and dandelion root, and nettles, like those kinds of really cleansing and tonifying and nourishing liver type herbs. So you can utilize and connect with those kind of herbs and those plant consciousnesses to assist you in this clearing and your intentions. And then you can also use just green, nourishing plant raw matter, whether it's in the form of juice or salads, to begin to clear out the system so that there's room for this new energy and light to come alive in you. So that's it for now. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and please let me know which one you're going to try out, or if you have any other methods that you're going to utilize to bring in this new light and new magic of this equinox time. And if you're in the southern hemisphere, I mean, think about all those energies that you can utilize in the gateway of the kind of thinning of the veil and going into this moment of darkness and looking at that kind of energy. So it's interesting that we have that balance within our own earth of both of those energies happening at the same time, which is quite fascinating. So I really appreciate you watching. Please hit that subscribe button, hit the bell button so you get notifications every time I do new videos. Be sure to check me out on Instagram for daily updates, and I will see you soon with another video.